Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I encourage and coach people to play their professional and personal games big. Excuse the lighting. For some reason, it's making me look very washed out, and I apologize. This is a video in a series that I've been doing about employer interviewing and hiring mistakes. And the mistake I'm going to talk with you about is not seeing people for who they really are. That's the influence of bias, both positive and negative bias. The person who walks in the door, who is, I'm going to use bad slang here, drop dead gorgeous, that's male or female. You see them and they are so impressive for their appearance that you go through the questions in a, excuse my language, half-assed kind of way, and instead are mesmerized by how good looking they are. Conversely, you can also be adversely affected and have a bias toward people who are fat, who look different than you, dress poorly because they can't afford a better wardrobe. Individuals of all different races, religions, backgrounds, and you can justify it, your decision based upon objective criteria. But if you ask yourself the question, if this person were drop dead gorgeous walking in the door, would I give them a second chance? And if you're honest with yourself, you probably would. Now, let me go to the example of the person who's different than you and you perceive them negatively. You have to put your biases aside. This person could be a great intellect, a dedicated individual. You want to hire a team player? There is no more a player than this individual. But you're distracted because of their girth. Why is that? Because you have to get them a bigger chair? So what? Firm can afford it. If this person is of a different religion or race than you, get to the intellect, get to their knowledge, understand what makes them tick. Instead of asking them to tell you about yourself, instead ask them this question instead. So, as you look back at your life, what brought you to this moment? What's your background that had you enter this field and wind up in my office today? What you're going to do is learn about the individual and their life holistically. I spoke about this in another video based upon a podcast called Reply All that was released, and made this suggestion then because it makes a lot of sense. There are things about a person in their life that you'll find out by asking them my question, or the question was offered on Reply All. Instead of tell me about yourself, you'll find out about what brought them to this point, what their training was, what their education is, how they wound up being the first in their family to have this experience, or how they stumbled into this career, but got adopted by someone who trained the heck out of them. I remember there's a guy in New York I met many years ago who used to adopt, and I'm putting that in air quotes, a number of young inner city kids and train the heck out of them in network engineering. He had a data center in his brownstone and would bring the kids in and train the heck out of them, and they'd work for him for nothing because they loved the education that they got. And they all went on to great fields. Did any of them have a comp sci degree? No, none of them even had degrees. But if you looked at their resume, you go, where have they been working? No degree? Delete. But you'd find out if you actually talk to them how they were involved with providing communications to Baltic nations at times where the Soviet Union, the old Soviet Union, was trying to block them from being able to have international communications, or how each of them broke the networking blockades that existed on their banking systems that the old Soviets had implemented, and what their part of it was. You'd never know that unless you actually talk to them and ask the question like the one I'm suggesting. So take the time to get to know someone. Don't just simply respond impulsively and reflexively, which basically involves no thought. It's a conditioned learning response that's keeping you from getting the person that you really want and need. So get out there, experiment a little bit. If I'm wrong from your vantage point, hey, no harm, no foul, right? No one gets hurt. You're still going to get the same information, and you may still reject them. But following my lead here, you're going to learn a lot more about a person and their background and see really from that story much better than you'll find through your standard questions about fit. I'm Jeff Altman. Hope you find this helpful. If you'd like help with recruiting, reach out to me. My phone number is 646-374-8656, or my email is jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. Want to get more advice from me? Visit my website, thebiggamehunter.us. Go into the blog. There's tons of information, whether you're trying to hire or you're looking for work, or you're a recruiter looking for some input. Hope you have a great day. Take care.